Look at you in Target at 6 in the morning fighting over some cups. You should be ashamed of yourself.
To each his own. I guess every garbage can has its lid.
Hey guys, it's your girl Cameron and I'm back at it again with another video. And today we're going to be talking about what's up with Stanley Cups. If you've been on TikTok, if you've been on Twitter, you guys have seen the craze recently about the Stanley Cup.
All this hysteria over a cup. I got a Stanley!
Starbucks and Stanley just recently did a collab. And the viral videos that I saw of people stealing, snatching, going crazy over these damn cups, lining up at 6 in the morning. Those of us who aren't chronically online are waking it up. Like, what's going on here? What's so special about these cups? And why are people going crazy over them? Now, if you're not new here, you guys know that when I do my social commentary videos, something seemingly so simple like a Stanley Cup usually ties into a bigger conversation. And today I really want to talk about how this new fad really fits into consumerism and groupthink, and how I think it is so frustrating, annoying, and disappointing that we keep doing the same thing over and over again. So comment down below. What do you guys think of the Stanley craze right now? Because I'm trying to figure this out. I'm really not trying to be sarcastic or funny. Hit me up. And hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more social commentary content like this. And without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. So we're going to kick this video off by discussing the company's origins and Stanley Cup's rise to the mass public and this demographic that is absolutely going crazy for it. The Stanley brand was invented in 1913 by William Stanley Jr. And essentially, Stanley fused vacuum insulation and the strength of stainless steel into one portable bottle. So it had the ability to keep your drinks very cold. It had your ability to keep your drinks and your food very hot. And clearly at the time, this was a relatively new invention. So that is what stapled Stanley in the first place. Now, that doesn't really fully explain. 100 years plus has passed. So I can't really tell you exactly where things took off for Stanley. These cups that range from about $20 to $60, but on average are about $45. Younger folks who just felt the need to have these things, right? And I'm not trying to be an asshole. It's nice to have a good cup or two. Okay? But to me, it's interesting why this product was it. A couple things that I picked up from my research, articles, people discussing it, videos, why people like this cup. Why is it worth the hype? Why is it worth the money? And a couple things that I came across consistently was, one, the color and sizes.
A silicone boot that serves as a cushion cover for the bottom. And lastly, this initial charm comes in a 2-pack and can set your Stanley apart so you know whose is whose.
Like we just talked about, it keeps beverages really hot or really cold. That's a good function and feature of a pricier cup. Card cup holder compatible. Oh, amazing, great, love that. Dishwasher safe. That's not a bad one. But I would hope if I'm paying $40 for a cup that it's dishwasher safe. One article pointed out saying, quote, "The Stanley Cup is composed of recycled stainless steel and other sustainable features, hence why it is amazing and worth the price." And lastly, people talked about the great customer service that the company provides. Now, this point came up when a girl went viral on TikTok and her car had caught on fire. Despite the car being burnt to a crisp, her Stanley Cup still had ice in it and it was still intact, which essentially was genius marketing without even having to market, because this was a quote unquote real scenario that happened. And this caused, I think, people who didn't believe the hype to be like,
oh, maybe I see why people are getting these cups so much because they're that good.
And in return, the CEO of Stanley Cups did a video basically saying,
"We've never done this before, and we'll probably never do it again, but we'd love to replace your vehicle."
So a lot of people started buzzing about how generous and how kind the company or the CEO had to be to do something like this, which I think that also might have created another wave of why these cups were so popular. I'm not saying that all Stanley Cup users are irrational. I think it's good to have good quality products in the house occasionally, but it's been undeniable with the recent craze and the uptick in videos of people fighting tooth and nail for these things that it collectively has y'all in a chokehold. Because I don't really think it just has to do with the product. There are 50 million cups that do the same damn thing. So it can't just be the product. Recently, Stanley and Starbucks had a collab release, and there was a girl on TikTok documented her journey waiting outside of a Target around 6 a.m. and snatching these cups up. They were gone in 20 seconds. Some people are reselling these cups for over $200. No joke. Everybody's like, what's going on here? How does the Stanley Cup tie into the bigger picture? Well, let's talk about consumerism and belonging. The bigger implication in the illusion of inclusion. Products, consumerism, they obviously work hand in hand. It makes our economy go round, right? If you date back to the 1950s, where now people were starting to work factory jobs and they're living in their white picket fence in their nice little homes, mass production increased and people started just buying things to buy them. And in our day and age, obviously it has gotten out of control with all of the marketing channels, right? To personalize advertisements. At a certain point, it doesn't become just the product, but it starts to do something to our psyche. And I don't think people wake that up enough, right? Because it works so well. The Stanley Cup is just the example in this case. Because if we want to go back, like when I was growing up, we were into Uggs, right? You had to have a pair of Uggs. Bear Paw, who? Payless, who? Uggs are still great quality shoes, but it was about the brand. Aeropostale shirts. Most similarly, the Hydro Flask. I was never into that trend. Jordans, that hasn't truly fizzled out, but there was a time where it didn't matter if your mom could afford it or not afford it. They were getting in line, buying you the damn things, and you were rocking them to school the next day. People build community through consumerism, right? What you're able to consume says a lot about who you are. What social class and economic class are you in? And what you're willing to do to fit in or to get this item, right? And there's levels to it because some things are more expensive than others. In theory, is $45 a lot? No, but for a cup, $45 to $60, that's a lot, especially in this economy. So when something is held popular, especially through the guise of social media channels like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, we tend to want to understand the hype. You want to be a part of the in crowd and you want to feel like you belong to somewhere or something. This Vox article says, quote, "The existence of unequal social structures and the role that consumption came to play in establishing people's positions in that unequal hierarchy. For many people, it's about consuming to their social position and trying to keep up with their social position." So in other words, that's why some of y'all are really lining up at 6 a.m. wrapped around a building for a cup. Because the internet is telling you to. Because you feel like you're in on a secret or you feel like you're a part of something. And it might sound very trivial and it might sound very silly, right, to say that. But it's not far off. And when we think about it, consumption's closest companion is conformity. Oh, did you get that new da-da-da-da? Did you get that? It started when we were kids. Oh, did you get that new toy for Christmas? Did you get that DS? Did you get that PS? Did you get that Wii? And not to say that these items don't bring joy, because I absolutely think that they do in some ways, right? Get your small victories, get your small wins. Life is hard enough. But when are we going to get tired of trying to keep up with the Joneses, keep up with the trends, keep up with the new product? We'll all be broke, lonely, and unfulfilled at the end of the day. Because no one's truly thinking for themselves or rationalizing, why do I need this? For what? And if you get to the root of it, a lot of y'all will be like, well, everybody's saying it's like cool, so I want it. It's not the best reason. What you buy speaks a lot to your values, your ability and willingness to access something niche, great, high quality. Maybe sometimes not even that high quality. You're paying for the brand, you're paying for the name. And in an article called You Are What You Buy, the author says, quote, "The consumer may assume their consumption pattern sets them apart from the rest of society, marking them as an individual. But this is a fallacy. It's consumer-driven production self is less to do with who am I and more to do with who are we and with whom do I belong." So consumption functions as a way for the consumer to communicate with society at a large. I mean, think about how in marketing, you have to clearly identify your demographic to sell the product. You are the target. And with social media now, we're not even getting paid to do the marketing, but we do the work for these companies. Psychology directly correlates. They study these things. They study behavior patterns. And companies benefit from consumers consuming their products to prove a social point. I mean, the best thing to happen for a brand is not for them to have to pay the advertising money, but for people to be posting these videos of a car burning, or to be posting these videos waiting at 6 a.m., or to be posting these videos of people stealing, right? Because then you wonder, I mean, I'm sitting here making a video about it, right? I'm not going to go buy a cup, but it did enough to make me think. Their name is in my mouth. I'm doing them a favor to some capacity, right? Because I'm sure some people watching this haven't even heard of this shit. And I'm sorry. I apologize. But it creates a constant cycle. So it turns into, what will the next product be? Because I can tell you, y'all are not attached to a damn cup. Y'all are not acting a fool over just a damn cup. It's what it represents, the content you can make out of it. It's what it says about you, how far you're willing to go. It's that simple and complex. So in conclusion, this might just be a thing that phases out like a lot of trends, not all, but a lot. At least the craze doesn't last for so long. At some point, it levels out or dies down. But I challenge you to think about why you want something. How does it fulfill you? And how does it connect to who you are? I do something where if I want to impulsively buy, I sit on it for a day, a couple days, and if I'm still thinking about it, I get it. If I feel like it'll be useful to me or important to me, I get it. I think that's a very good way to kind of block out the noise and give yourself some time, because a lot of the times we buy products to fill voids, to make ourselves happy, to feel an endorphin rush, right? And if a lot of you guys know, you buy something, you enjoy it for a bit, especially if it's not a practical item, you enjoy it for a bit and then you're back to normal. You don't feel anything. It's really just all a microcosm of how trends provide a sense of belonging and inclusion. I challenge us to find that outside of items and to find that within ourselves. Like, tap into what you like, what makes you passionate, what aligns with your value. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you don't need to get it. But if you notice, not only are products being sold, but aesthetics are being sold collectively, because our generation almost needs to be told and fed what to do, what to wear, how to act, what aesthetic to be, which could be a whole different video. Comment down below if you want that. But it's because it takes too much work to discover you. And marketing and social media does so good at making you feel like you need it. Making you feel like, oh, if I get this, I'll be a part of it. Oh, if I get this, I'll get it. You're not missing out. 9 times out of 10, you're not missing out on much, right? You'll be fine without it. Why spend senseless, pointless money on something that you're probably just doing because everybody else is doing it? Nevertheless, I'm sitting here with my robe on, preaching like I'm somebody's mother. Really, y'all, like, it's not that serious. It's actually kind of annoying. And I wish we said we wouldn't be how our parents were on Black Fridays, fighting over shit, stealing shit.
Stop him! Stop him! Stop him!
Look at you.
No, it's okay. We're gonna call law enforcement. They'll take care of it.
Look at you in Target at 6 in the morning fighting over some cups. You should be ashamed of yourself. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Like, comment down below What do you guys think of consumerism and belonging? Do you think that this Stanley trend falls into that? Do you guys think I'm wrong? Let's chat it up below and hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. I am signing out, but I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.